You ever finished a track and deep down it just feels cheap? If so, you're not alone. And today I'm gonna show you the 3 silent mistakes that are secretly killing your track and how you can avoid them. By the way, these fixes are the same one that help my music get picked up by brands like this. Let's jump into the first one. It's one of the most overlooked mistakes because it's extremely hard to identify if you don't know where to look. If you want to understand why a track sounds cheap, you need to look at its core. Have you ever tried these $5 earbuds you find at gas station? You don't even need to use them to know they're bad. Flimsy plastic, terrible assembly, you just know they won't last. Well, music works the same way. If your building blocks sounds cheap, your final track will too, no matter how well you mix it. This is why bad sound selection is the #1 sound killer out there. So how do we fix it? With a simple 3-step system that I call the QRC. First, Q for quality. Ask yourself, could I hear this sound on a professional record? There's a pretty clear choice here. If it sounds like a Temu stock preset, ditch it. Also, don't be afraid to invest. Good sounds from Splice and good plugins can instantly level up your track. Next, R for right. Is the sound right for the genre? Even if a sample or plugin sounds amazing, if it doesn't fit, it's like showing up to the beach in a tuxedo. Right ID, wrong place. And finally, C for compatibility. When you layer sound, are they actually adding to each other or just fighting for space? Your sounds should feel like they're in a band together, not in a wrestling match. Pretty simple, right? If you pass every sound you use through the QRC checklist, you'll stop your track from sounding cheap before you even touch the mix. But even perfect sounds cannot save you if your track collapses into a wall of noise. And it happens way faster than you think. You ever been stuck in one of those conversations where everyone's talking and nobody's listening, and the whole thing turns into chaos? It's awful. And guess what? That's exactly what bad production sounds like. Good music, like good conversation, needs space. Not every idea deserves a mic, but avoiding clutter, it's way harder than it sounds. Check this out. Imagine each sound, idea or instrument is a gummy bear. And this square, let's call this your track space box. This is the space we have available for volume, frequency, width and depth. Every sound you add, bass, snare, synth, vocal, takes up a piece of that limited space. Clean, clear, easy to breathe, but if you're not careful, suddenly it's chaos again. This is harder than it seems because our brains default more is better. I've been there. That's why top artists like Billie Eilish go minimal. Simplicity isn't boring, it's luxury. So every time you add a sound from now on, ask yourself, is this sound earning its place or just adding to the noise? Kill the clutter, protect your space, because up next is the last silent killer sneaking in that wrecks even the cleanest tracks. By the way, if you ever want custom help making your music actually sound professional, whether that's full production or one-on-one coaching, check the link below and let's build your best work yet. Now, this last silence killer is sneaky because even perfect sounds cannot save you if your track becomes a working corpse. Modern production tools gave us a huge gift. You don't need anyone else to make music anymore, but it also unleashed a virus. A virus that slowly kills your music soul without you even realizing it. You just draw the notes, copy-paste a loop, layer another synth, and on the surface it sounds fine, but inside the life is missing. Your track becomes like a wax figure. It looks human, but something's missing. And it happened to almost everyone. Remember the first time you jammed live with a friend and the music felt alive? Now imagine that joy is replaced with static, lifeless copy-paste. That's what bad production feels like to your listener, even if they can't explain it. No matter how expensive your sounds are, if you miss this next step, your track will feel dead inside. But here's the good news. You can bring your music back to life, and here's my 3-step life injection checklist I use on every track to do it. Automation is the closest thing we have to real human emotion in digital music. Volume rides, filter sweeps, panning moves, they make the sounds evolve naturally like a human performance would, just like this. Now that you got space in your track, this is where you can sprinkle this magical texture and ear candy. Reverse vocal, a weird ambient sound tucked in the background. These little sparks grab the listener's ears without overwhelming the track. Take a listen. In real live music, nothing stays static for long. A fill before chorus, a guitar lick, bass slide at the perfect moment. Surprises keep the brain away. They stop listeners from zoning out and rehook the audience every few bars. If you run your next song through the 3-step life injection checklist, you will sound and feel more alive than anything you've made before. Now that your music sounds expansive and alive, the next step is learning how to keep your listener hooked all the way to the end of your song. Because even a beautifully produced track can lose listeners fast if you don't master this one thing: arrangement. If you want to learn the one trick top producers use to structure addictive, binge-worthy songs, click here and I'll walk you through it.